Hope everybody's having a good night. I've got the purple Nike fleece long sleeve. I've got the jersey, and the final piece, obviously, uh, is the flannel. So this is uh, this is my look. I just wanted to tell everybody that tonight's not a real rivalry. I'm not really up for the Battle of LA. They're bigger fish to fry than the Clippers. That should be the attitude. If LeBron is not able to go tonight, it's not a big deal. Darius Garland is not in action for the Clippers. There's no James Harden with or without LeBron James. We should start the second half of the season with a lot of momentum entering that game against the Celtics. So they're bigger fish to fry. If LeBron James rests up any returns on Sunday, then I'll be very, very satisfied. We don't need the GOAT to come back in action tonight. What we do need is the best possible performance against, in my opinion, the very best of the Eastern Conference, especially when Jason Tatum comes back. And this brings us to the performance against the Thunder. You know, they competed toe to toe with the Thunder. They were beating them by 6, 8 points. They show already they can and will compete and hang toe to toe with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I'm already seeing progress that this team is ready to compete. It's really just a matter, of course, it is about staying healthy before the playoffs. Against either tonight or against the Celtics, for the first time in how many games or how many days, how many weeks, how many months, for the first time, we would see a healthy Lakers lineup for the first time in quite some time. So I am looking forward to the day that Reeves, Braun, and Luca are practically playing every single game except back to backs. Back to backs, go King LeBron James is not going to play back to backs. It is pure load management for the 41-year-old. LeBron will not be playing any games that are back to back, that are being played in consecutive days. Hopefully, more consistent performances from the bench. Hopefully, the defense starts to apply more pressure, start to play with more effort, because we are at the point in the season where it's about locking in that number 3. It's time to get a win streak going. It's time to build some momentum, confidence, and swagger before the playoffs. What would be a bonus is if we do get that win against the Thunder at some point in April. Played Thunder 2 times in April, just like last year. If we beat the Thunder then, we ready to kick some ass and punch them right in the teeth. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. They show they can be beaten at any point in time. They show they can slump at any moment in the season. The Thunder are 100% beatable. When Luka beat the Thunder, that same team with practically half the talent. The Mavs are half as talented. That team was half as talented as the Lakers. So I know Luka, he already has that in his back pocket, that memory of playing the Thunder and shredding the Thunder. So for Luka, the Thunder are a bunch of nobodies. This is must-watch TV. The Thunder are beatable. If you're being forced to a Game 7 against the Nuggets, a team the Lakers already beat, if you're being forced to a Game 7 against a far inferior Indiana Pacers team, I don't care what anybody says. The Thunder are vulnerable. They are not indestructible by any means. I don't look at the regular season record beating crappy teams. I am looking at their playoff run. They have had to struggle. They could have easily lost on the day against any opponent. If the Tyrese Halliburton didn't get injured, if the Denver Nuggets were more consistent, but this team has shown they can and will get beat in a game 7 in a best of 7 series against the LA Lakers. It, there's going to be no other outcome other than Lakers in 7. There's no Lakers in 6. There ain't no Thunder in 4 or 5 games. It is a game 7, and the Lakers are taking it at OKC. AR-15, college basketball, undrafted Oklahoma Sooners, practically in under half an hour drive from Norman, Oklahoma to Oklahoma City. Austin Reeves back at home where he played college basketball. This dude is going to tear it up against the Thunder in that game 7. And already I am looking forward to it. And no, I ain't not being hubristic because this is the year, because the Lakers do have the rebounder. And I certainly like Jackson Hayes' production. He should have played far more in that series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maxi Kleber, if DeAndre Ayton finds himself lacking effort or execution, Maxi Kleber is a big guy that you can put in the game, that's a good body, that's going to prevent offensive rebounds, shut him down, emphasize the stoppage of the perimeter. Maxi Kleber's inclusion in that series against the Oklahoma City Thunder is a must against their Chet Holmgrens and what have you, and Hartenstein. Maxi Kleber is going to make much of a difference. And his inclusion against the Timberwolves was too late because it was already 3-1 down, and maybe he wasn't completely healthy. But if they had Maxi Kleber for more minutes, would certainly help with the rebounding. I think that's going to make the difference. I would have certainly liked to see the team do far more as far as the buyout market goes in the All-Star break, but second clutchest three-point shooter in the history of the NBA. Number 1 is Steve Kerr. Needed a three-point shooter. Marcus Smart is hitting his three-point shots. He's getting it done. We need to see Vandalorian be more consistent in the corner when he's shooting these three-pointers. We've got a clutch three-point shooter who is going to be goated in these tie-the-game moments. In the last 30, 45 seconds of a game, I think we've got our sharpshooter. This guy, it seems like every wide-open three-point shot he makes. So I'm looking forward to it. If I was the manager, if I was the training staff, if I was the coach, I would allow King LeBron James to return and go to war against the Boston Celtics. The performance against the Celtics is far more important. Have the GOAT ready to go against the Boston Celtics. To try to steal a win in a rivalry game is very, very important. You can beat the Clippers without King LeBron James. If you're about avoiding the Thunder until the conference finals, you need a as healthy and fresh and ready to go King LeBron James as much against the Boston Celtics, knocking out one of your tough opponents on the schedule. You know the win against the Houston Rockets is coming. I think another win is due against the Denver Nuggets. I hope the first win against the Nuggets with Jokic in the lineup. And I think who didn't play in that game against the Denver Nuggets? Was it LeBron? He played. Maybe it was Reeves that didn't play, or Luka didn't play, and maybe Reeves didn't play that game. So that Nugget game is very interesting because that's really the first time that the Nuggets and the Lakers play when we see both teams at full strength as far as this season goes. Well, yeah, let's get ready to go on Sunday. Let's whip them ass and let's go. We building the momentum to the championship this year. against the Boston Celtics at Beantown, Tyco Beanbar. It's on. Anybody who thinks New York Knicks, I'm sorry, man. They are not going to make the finals until they trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's almost like they're wanting this guy to go to the New York Knicks, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis against Wemby in the finals in the future. I think I'm the first person to call it. Knicks are going to beat the Spurs in the finals. I if they lose against Lakers for the back to back, just they can't allow Giannis to lose against Wembanyama. They're moving on from Giannis. They moving forward with Wembanyama. Wembanyama could easily lose in 2029, easily make it back to the finals and win the next year or the year after. So it's a cool story if you write it that way. Oh, you make it to the finals, you lose, you're heartbroken, but then you work even harder. You're as productive as ever, and you return to the finals and you win. So I think Wembanyama is going to have that same story as Goat King LeBron James, where he lost the championship in 2007, his first ever appearance in the finals, but then he eventually makes it back and he wins, and he will probably win, I think, maybe the Spurs are going to repeat. Maybe I know they've got their arena renovated. I think that they're fully approved to renovate their arena. So yeah, the Spurs are another team that we are going to have to pay attention to in future years, because the NBA is certainly going to prepare for Wembanyama's moment. I don't know why Garland is not playing, if it's because of injury or whatever, but I don't care about how the Cavs do this season. So when you hire James Harden and Goat King LeBron James cannot exist together on the same team. They're pretty ball dominant. Goat King LeBron likes to control the flow of the offense. This is not a trade that you do if you want to bring Goat King LeBron to Cleveland. I don't think Goat King LeBron and James Harden can coexist with James Harden's style of play. I think Goat King LeBron James would love the attention that comes with announcing this is my last season, and everybody is giving him standing ovations and visiting arenas. And I mean, he does beg for attention. Go King LeBron James, he does at certain moments, and I just think that he would love to. It just be more special if he goes to Cleveland only one time next year as a visitor. It makes more. It's more meaningful if he's visiting Cleveland as a visitor, because that's the only time he's going to come back to Cleveland. So I don't know when the announcement is going to happen. His final status for tonight. He is questionable to play. If he's been downgraded, then he is probably not going to play. And for the first time since the beginning of the second half of the season, Goat King LeBron is ready to go on the 22nd day of the month with 22 wins in the NBA Finals. And this may be 54 days after his birthday that Goat King LeBron makes his first appearance since the All-Star break. And 54 is obviously Kobe Bean Bryant. So the win against the Thunder 41 days after Goat King LeBron's birthday didn't hit. Things were looking very promising in the third quarter. But I think 54 days after Goat King LeBron's birthday that they play the Celtics, I think we get the job done against the Celtics. I hope to beat them. And I think well, they lost against the Lakers, but the Jason Tatum didn't play that game. Or the Jason played the game, they would have beat the Lakers. So I think that's kind of the spin that you can have as far as hating on Goat King LeBron and hating on the Lakers is that you have not beaten the Celtics at full strength, and you're not beating them in the NBA Finals. Goat King LeBron James got to tie Kobe Bean Bryant at Bean time. Nobody can convince me otherwise. If you want the New York Knicks this year, Detroit Pistons, what would make sense about the Detroit Pistons is that that's Magic Johnson's. He is from Michigan, so Pistons. I'm thinking Magic Johnson. Why they number one? Magic Johnson's fifth ring came against the Pistons. So I think that did that team come out of nowhere? I mean, they were a first round team, right? I think they came out of nowhere because no one expected them to be the number one seed. But I think if NBA scripts the Kawhi championship, then the Pistons got to make it because you see, the Ballmer. He is from Michigan, State Ballmer. So if they script Clippers championship, it's Clippers over Cunningham and the Pistons. If that moment comes where Clippers in their new arena got to make it to the championship, but they don't make it until Keem Bond retires and leaves the team, and then the Luca narrative that he can't overcome the shadow of GOAT LeBron James is suddenly going to exist. It's like the shadow of maybe Steve Young ever since Joe Montana left, something like that, something like that. So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't know. Uh, the Kobe shadow of Shaq is probably more accurate. That he can't win without Shaq, like Luca can't win without GOAT LeBron James. So I kind of equate that narrative with Luca to the Kobe can't win without Shaq back in the day, in the mid to kind of early late 2000s, and he finally won the championship without Shaq. But that 45th playoff series win for GOAT LeBron James is going to happen. And this is how I look at that. It's not only Luka that equals 45, but hey, could he leave for the Cavs after winning a final championship? Never say never, but the only person that really knows is GOAT LeBron. I wouldn't listen to anybody in the media. It's not like they're mind readers of GOAT LeBron's mind. I would only listen to GOAT LeBron James. If the Lakers win the championship, I see no reason why GOAT LeBron should not try to defend this championship next year. There is no, is he leaving for Cleveland or not? There is something called the script that they set in advance, years in advance. He's going to beat his first. Mike Brown was his second coach. But GOAT LeBron is going to beat his coach at Cleveland, Mike Brown, in next year's NBA Finals. But the Knicks are not going to make it until they trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But they're not going to win the championship the first year that Giannis arrives. Now, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, they did win the championship the first year. Now, the first half season of Kobe Gasol, they didn't get it done. The first year of GOAT LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, they didn't win the championship the first year. GOAT LeBron, first year AD, we did win the championship. The whole Kevin Garnett and James Harden and Irving, they never really were out on the court at the same time. Injury and Kyrie Irving refused to be vaccinated. But Kevin Durant is getting eliminated by the Oklahoma City Thunder. They had some good game there at the beginning of the season. Double overtime in the opening game of the season. Seems like they could script some close games between the Thunder and the Rockets. So would Kevin Durant and the Rockets really beat Joker and the Nuggets? Well, if Joker decides to throw the series so he could go back to Serbia and not be away from his horses for such a long time, then I can see Jokic throwing the first round series. I could easily that's someone that you can reach to easily because he's made it known that basketball is not he ain't a lifer. He's good at basketball and he can play. It makes his multi-generational wealth, but it seems like basketball maybe is just a job for Nikola Jokic, and he does it very, very super, super well. That winning the championship can overcompensate for this simply just being a job. But kind of have some nonsense gimmicks, shenanigans with Kevin Durant in the second round of the playoffs. It did different teams, different teams. Like we've already seen what the Nuggets can do against the Oklahoma City Thunder. But what's more entertainment from a storyline aspect is seeing the Thunder eliminate Kevin Durant. I think the Rockets have the edge as far as the storyline goes. I think that's how they could script that storyline right there. Now the Nuggets are a far better team than the Rockets, but it didn't matter if the Pacers had no business being in the finals. The NBA scripted the playoff series. They have the ability to manipulate any playoff series at any moment in time that they deem they can script a playoff series. The most talented team doesn't always win the individual playoff series. What was it with the WWE and I mean, was Jason Tatum's injury real or fake? I can't say if it's real or fake. But what they definitely told you was they had Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson like at a WWE event and whatever. There was some scripted smack talk, whatever, back and forth. And the next thing you know, they were talking trash at the WWE, Halliburton and Jalen Brunson. Then they meet for the conference title and the trip to the NBA Finals. That's how they predetermined that. Could they have scripted and faked Jason Tatum's injury? Now that how they script injuries, it may be some sort of black magic involved. Now, Alex Smith's injury for the Washington Redskins, the Commanders, and Joel Theismann's injury for the Commanders were almost identical. They were almost identical. The play clock, the score, the sequence, that right there tells me that black magic is involved in these injuries, and it, in my view. Any official announcement yet? I don't think he's going to play, but he's questionable, but nothing is official yet until we hear the word. Warriors didn't just rush Stephen Curry back against the Celtics, did they? So at his age, he ain't playing tonight. I was looking forward to watch him play tonight, but I think the game is on NBC. I hope it's not on Amazon. Fuck Amazon. Hopefully it's on NBC, man. Because all of these sports streaming packages, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. I hope that's on NBC. Thank goodness. Okay. It is on NBC. The Sunday's game is on NBC. I'm just paying attention to the Cleveland game here. I'm charging my phone. I ain't watching the game right now, but seems like Cleveland should get the 36 win against Charlotte. We'll see what happens here. Only game of the day I did was the Laker game. Now, a battle of LA, the 18th loss for the Clippers away. I mean, with or without Joakim the Bomb, we're gonna win. Nobody. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to predict the Lakers to win tonight when there's no Darius Garland. You already traded away James Harden. We already know we're gonna win. It's gonna be a close game. You don't know if it's gonna be a close game. If Kawhi is gonna go off or not, or what have you. Or if Aiton has an off game and Zubac is all over the place, I guess we have to find out. For once, Charlotte Hornets are having a good season. They're 500 and they're just not a doormat team, I guess. without Jimmy Butler, the Warriors may miss the playoffs. It would be cool to see SGA against Stephen Curry, but Kuminga's gone. Jimmy Butler's out for the season. There are too many hits. Too many hits. Celtics are up by 30 points or so. Who's going to play the Thunder? Clippers need revenue for the home playoff games in that new arena, right? SGA's got to beat the Clippers at some point because, you see, they got him from the Clippers. SGA was with the Clippers, and they traded like 5 first-round draft picks for this guy. And so I think Clippers are going to win the play-in, I think. You do it for the future. This ain't just a punt the season, you know. This is about somewhat building some momentum for the next season. So how do you do that? You get a feel of the top competition, and then you build on and prepare the moment where the NBA scripts the championship in the new Intuit Dome Arena, just like they did for the LA Rams in Super Bowl 56. I don't care what anybody says. If the NFL can order Matthew Stafford to be traded to the Rams, they're going to order some players to join the Clippers. They're literally going to order them to join the LA Clippers. They literally are being ordered to join the LA Clippers. 2029 is the year for the New York Knicks. I already did the video. If you ain't paying attention, then it's down to the viewer. But this ain't just a let's check back in the money. You have to pay attention to this channel every single day because you never know what kind of product I put out there. Former star of the Bucks gonna end the New York Knicks 56-year championship drought. That's what about to go down right here. I wish I would have entered this reference in the video, but San Antonio, Texas, Escamante 56. This is 2029. This is 2029. That's the year the New York Knicks are going to win the championship. A superstar from France against a Greek freak. Madison Square Garden, Manhattan 29. Knicks win their first championship in 56 years when they beat the San Antonio Spurs in that championship. I mean, we already know it's happening. Knicks are 67-22. Giannis is born at Athens. Athens is Camacho 67-22. This is laughable. This is laughable. What does freak have, Camacho? Do they call this guy the freak, or you have to say he's Greek freak? Greek freak's 87 and Victor. They're both the same Gematria. They're both the same Gematria. When did the Spurs win the championship again? Well, 2014, Heat is 16, NBA 17. 2031, 2032, 2030. The range, it's something called the range. The range for the Spurs is going to be 2030 to 2032. Now, Victor does equal 33. And 2033 could be possible too, especially if it's a repeat situation or we win, but then we lose next year. But then the very next season, we win. So a year in between two championships, that could happen too. Especially with legalized betting, that thing can happen too. Legalized betting in the 2020s, we did see a repeat in the NFL. So we still see repeat in the baseball. So the repeat, the dynasty aspects that bring in bandwagon fans, this will always be popular with the leagues. There will have to be some gaps in between some of these bandwagon dynasty the little runs, like the 5 Super Bowls in 6 years for the Kansas City Queens. A very big, opportunistic, momentous call is going to be when the Chargers are going to win with Jim Harbaugh. I shouldn't go into football. We in the off season. They not playing any game until 6 months later. Really, it's just bullshit locker room talk for 6 months. It's a long ass time. We should be talking about NFL whatsoever. What we really should be talking about is international viewership. You know, Greece with Giannis and France with Atanakup, France with Wemby, and Greece with Giannis got international. Basically, this is what's happened with soccer for Europeans. You know, we don't play no day games anymore. We have to play night games because we're catering the game to people around the globe. The same thing is happening with the NBA. Or these NBA work days are complicated. I think weekends. They will schedule these games in the afternoon so people in France can be watching at 9 p.m. That's what I mean. That's what's going to happen. Afternoon games in the NBA Finals, especially it involves future superstars. They not going to be playing games on Saturday, Sunday, NBA Finals, or even the conference finals at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, because we got to get people in France watching when it ain't too late at night. But it is a city that never sleeps, anyways. But that's the point of time that I think the NBA is going to do. Europeans complain about not seeing day games really that often for soccer games, but they want people in America and Asia to watch. Same thing happened with the NBA. They don't give a damn about the American fan anymore. Their market, their market of growth, their market cap is Europe. Which international star is on the LA Clippers? I feel like the Lakers need another international superstar. Who's the most popular player in Europe? Luca or fucking that bastard? That bastard. Joker. I think Luca's more popular. I think. I don't have any evidence. I think Luca's probably more popular. Let's picture this. The Lakers management is garbage. It can change. Management can change because they change ownership. They had, I think, one of Jeannie's brothers was like heading scouting or something. It's completely crazy. Can the Lakers be run better with the new owner? Probably. Maybe. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. Does Jeannie still being a governor of the team mean that she will have a say in the team or whatever? I don't know. I don't know. Nike Dry Fit purple. This is Nike Dry Fit. This is like a running shirt. Okay. Nike Dry Fit in the jersey. I'm ready to go. Ready to go to war. Some people are going to ask me, are you going to like fucking melt down or whatever if they lose or whatever? Pretty much if the Lakers lose, it's like good riddance, I think. It's good riddance at this point. But yeah, I think I will go Broussard. I don't think it's just gonna be all good riddance. Fuck you guys. Fuck the Lakers. Fuck the Lakers. Fuck them for fucking over Goat in the bonds. I tell you, uh, leave this fucking team. Whatever. If the Lakers are still garbage like they were before Goat came to Bond James, I'm telling you, uh, who his face. Luca is gonna. He is big friends with Joker Nikola Jokic. If this Lakers management is hot garbage, even after a change of ownership, a team, corporate restructure, if they're still garbage at recruiting and drafting, Luca's gonna bail and join the Denver Nuggets. People hate super teams. They hate a dynasty. You know, American exceptionalism, whatever. It when Goat Kinbon retires, and if the Lakers are garbage after Goat Kinbon leaves, don't be surprised if Luka teams up with Nikola Jokic and becomes a Denver Nugget. Now, before you say, what? He's got the gematria. He's got the gematria. Don't get this 30 and Nuggets is 30. He's big friends. He's big friends with Nikola Jokic. So don't think for a second that just because the Lakers this and that, it don't matter. If he can go somewhere where he can win more championships, he's gonna do that. If the Lakers are garbage and they can't recruit and they can't draft, and you're a dumb little scumbag at this general manager like this Rob Pelinka little guy. Or if he's fired and they restructure, keyword is restructure. They fire, but they restructure and they hire somebody else, but he's just another incompetent buffoon. Then he's going to leave and join his friend. He's friends with fucking the Serbian guy, fucking Nikola Jokic. He's going to join the Denver Nuggets if this management is letting down Luka and Goldman is not here to cover cracks. It ain't guaranteed that Luka's going to stay with the Lakers for the rest of his career. He could join the Denver Nuggets. I think Goldman would give him great advice to secure your legacy, multiple rings. If the team is garbage and they can't draft for shit, then you have to move on and join the Denver Nuggets. You have a super team, bandwagon fans across Europe rooting for the Nuggets. The Nuggets can be Europe's team. The best thing about this is the team, Europe's team doesn't have to be some big market. It can be Denver. It can be Denver. Shout out Philippines. Shout out. You guys carry the NBA. Most passionate international fan base in the NBA. Who's the next Filipino star going to be? You guys, all the Filipinos I know are short motherfuckers. My Filipino friend Clem, he's short. Where's that 7-footer that's going to go to NBA, whatever? That little crafty Jeremy Lin little guy that's going to play in the NBA. So shout out the Philippines. The scouting, the development at 5, 6, 7. They soccer teams. They're playing youth teams. They're full-time soccer players at 5, 6, 7. So you have full-time basketball, youth club. You play your youth club. You do your schoolwork when you're not in practice, whatever. This is kind of where basketball is heading to. They can emulate the soccer model of you're spending all your time with the club, the youth club, but then when you're not practicing, we're not doing any of that, you are completing your coursework. So I'm just saying there's lots of competition. There's a lot of market opportunity in the future, That's where the world is heading in the future. NBA wants to compete with soccer. I don't think they're going to compete with soccer. Soccer's always king. Football always king. Football is always king. The football you play with the foot is always the king. But they're taking whatever market opportunity we can for revenue, for interest, for players engaged in basketball at a young age. So that's going to continue. That's going to continue. That's going to continue. Let's see if anything has come out yet. If Goalkeeper Bonds can play, I don't give a fuck about tonight's game. Gonna win the game. It doesn't mean shit. They're bigger fish to fry. We don't give a fuck about this team over there and fucking the other side of LA. These motherfuckers are anything. We have bigger fish to fry, like the Celtics and the Thunder. So I ain't going live for tonight because I'm here to send a fucking message that they're bigger fucking teams to fry that we should be caring about than this garbage ass, sorry ass, fucking flipper ass fucking organization. You understand? You understand? You understand where I'm coming from? What are they, a minus 300 favorite, a minus 280 favorite? Because they're not playing Darius Garland. So we see a goalkeeper on is gonna play or not. I haven't heard anything yet. If the goat's gonna play, ESPN would love goalkeeper Bond to play, but bigger fish to fry. Let's get him ready for Sunday. I don't want him to play tonight. I don't know how he's feeling. I can't speak about how goalkeeper Bond is feeling, about how his left knee is feeling, but more importantly, we compete against the Thunder, come out and compete against the Celtics. That is my take on, do we play goalkeeper Bond tonight at 80%, 75%? However, his body is feeling. It's a very important game for the bench players. They got to show up in a game like that. It's more important for the bench players tonight, I think. It's more important for the bench players. Do you want to be part of JJ's rotation? Do you want to be a part of the greatness? What the bench players, when you see them farm work, you can't have 13 points from the bench for the whole game or none of this crap like that. Got to help out your big three here. That's what we have to see. It's a big task at hand. Is this jersey too heavy for you to wear? This is a very, very heavy jersey with very high standards. GOAT LeBron James, the GOAT of the game, has very, very high standards. When you wear the same jersey as GOAT LeBron, it better not be too heavy of a jersey. Luka made it to the finals with a team that is half as talented as this Lakers team. This team is going to win the championship. Gingo, LeBron, and Luka. They have to win the championship ever since the trade from Dallas. They have to get the championship to make this the worst trade ever in the history of sports. They can't come out empty-handed. For this to be the worst trade ever, you have to bring champs. Multiple championships. This ain't the worst trade ever until they win championships. Or Herschel Walker trade. Dallas Cowboys had a dynasty. Didn't they get a dynasty out of that? This to be the worst trade ever. You have to win that one. Win back-to-back championships. This ain't the worst trade ever until they win championships. They got fucked in their ass and they got rid of him and they made it back. Luka made it back to the finals and won the championship without the Dallas Mavericks leadership. I think this is the Mamba style kind of. I ain't finding the right word right now, but Luka is going to war. They called him fat. They called him out of shit. He doesn't focus on the defense. This is what I'm talking about. Luka's got to show these people wrong right here. He's one of the worst players getting blown by, on the drive to the basket. You see, Luka is got to show them people that he can play on both ends of the floor, This is what I want to see from Luka. Is the regular season, you ain't playing defense all the time in the regular season, but from Luka, we need to see defense. We need to see the motivation here that he about the champ. And I'm going to win a championship without you, Marcus. The same season that Nico Harrison gets fired as general manager and they're prized. We're the one ticket from the championship. Anthony Davis, the ticket for the championship. The same season you trade Anthony Davis. The Lakers are winning the championship. The same season Nico is fired and Anthony Davis is traded. This is the worst trade ever when the Lakers win the championship this year and you can get their revenge against the Celtics. We are months away. We are months away. Weeks, months away. We're very, very close to the prize right here. We're very close. We're almost there. It's time to overlook It's time to overlook the flippers. There ain't nobody's. We know what's gonna happen at home. We need to start looking forward to Sunday. We already know we're going to compete with the best when we beat with the Celtics and we beat the Thunder in April. We don't need to win both games. Just win one of the two games at OKC. Win one of the two games at OKC. And we're ready to go to war. And we're ready to go to war. And we will. It's not just about winning the battle, but the war perseveres and continues. It's more than just winning the battle. It's about winning the war. It's about winning the war. You have Luka and Dirk and LeBron James. You have the second most accurate three-point shooter in the history of the NBA. This dude, Luke Kennard, is more accurate than Stephen Curry. What did you just say? Let me look this up. His 3-point percent and Stephen Curry's 3-point percent. 8.1 points per game, like Kobe's 81 points, 81st NBA fighter. So yeah, okay. Let me screenshot this. I should have broken down Luke Kennard's stats at the All-Star break and not just the big three on the Lakers, because this guy's the Ray Allen, this guy's the Gary Paxson, this guy's the Derek Fisher. He is, It was crazy. All these 3-point shooters. Shane Battier, Mike Miller, all this. Why can't Lakers have all these guys that can shoot 3-pointers like they did in Miami Heat and then the Cleveland Cavaliers? They had all these sharp shooters from 3 points. So, yeah, Rob Pelinka is garbage and he's terrible. Basically, the are going to play all these minutes and they're going to be the greatest fucking show ever in the history of the fucking world, averaging 80 points per game. They're averaging 80 points per game between the big three on the Lakers. And this doesn't include the Andre Ayton. Luke Kennard averages 44.2% like Jerry West. He passed was number 44. Like, can the Bonds 44 playoff win with the Lakers to win the championship this year? Luke Kennard shoots 44%. What's Stephen Curry's 3-point percent? I ain't just making shit up. They keep on bringing up this stat in social media. Luke Kennard shoots 44% from 3-point. Stephen Curry shoots 42% from 3-point. Now, Stephen had 45% 3-point shooting a couple of seasons. This guy is more than just a sharpshooter. I don't know what you call a sharpshooter to the nth degree, whatever. You gotta have a John Wick nailing them 3-point shots every moment in time when momentum swings. A guy like Luke Kennard, the other teamers get momentum, but then a quick 3 from him, it silences, it totally disrupts the momentum. A 3-point shot from him, it just disrupts momentum. The psyche of giving up a basket. This guy is gonna make the difference. Now, he with the team, he with him. It ain't nothing about his future anymore. Dalton Netz needs to grow the fuck up. He needs to stop taking things so damn personal. Where's that 3-point sharpshooter's rookie year that I know that Dalton Nets can be. This guy needs to be a sharp shooter. Multiple sharp shooters for Luka and Doak and LeBron James to pass the ball. We need Dalton Nets to beat the Thunder. We have Luke Kennard. We need him to beat the Thunder. Hopefully the jersey is not too heavy for these guys. Not everybody can handle playing for the New York Yankees in the New York market. Not everybody can handle the pressure of playing for the LA Lakers and being scrutinized by the Lakers fan base. DeAndre Ayton, you need to show me that you truly are in on the championship. Because as I talked about at the beginning, Maxi Kleber, this guy's ready to steal your minutes, and I can't wait. It's up to the coach to properly assess when effort is not given, when irregularities and inconsistencies are shown, that Maxi Kleber should be playing ahead of DeAndre Ayton. He's not just a body. He's gotten some minutes before the All-Star break. Clearly, J.J. Redick is thinking about including Maxi Kleber in this rotation off of the bench. He's very, very important. Again, I think what JJ needs to do is, if he recognizes that he's being lazy today, he's not mentally into the game tonight, that Maxi Kleber is going to be in there. He's going to be our center for the rest of the day. If there is lapses mentally in DeAndre Ayton, that's where Maxi Kleber comes into the equation. And don't think for a second that the trade of AD is simply not just directly for Luka in a draft pick and Max Christie. Maxi Kleber's rebounding, and I think JJ Redick, he's got to recognize when Ayton's feeling it, he's in the game. Now, Austin Reeves is really good to pick and roll. It seems like DeAndre Ayton gets, he checks out when he's not touching the basketball. And it seems like the pick and roll action of Austin Reeves gets this guy involved. And I think that Austin Reeves, not playing from the bench, but starting games, is going to get DeAndre Ayton more involved and put a fire in his belly. I hope. I'd be lying to you if I completely trust DeAndre Ayton. But I know that Jackson Hayes and Maxi Kleber, these are very, very important parts of our basketball team. If Maxi Kleber steps up in the playoffs, if Jackson Hayes steps up in the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you win the championship. Ayton can be gone even if the Lakers win the championship. This is what I mean. He could be gone even if the Lakers win the championship. If Maxi Kleber steps it up, if Jackson Hayes steps it up, if they not lazy like Ayton, and they're not being lazy and they're being men and not lacking balls and going all in on these rebounds, that, it's hell. We'd have to deal with the Oklahoma City Thunder's Hartenstein and fucking, Holmgren, these men out there, you see? If Ayton's trying to fucking, check out whatever, play video games, get to the off season, we don't need Ayton to win these games. We have Maxi Kleber. We have a real center. We don't need Ayton to win. Anyone worried about DeAndre Ayton? I want him to be successful. But it's all up to the individual if he wants that same desire and passion to be a success. What should piss everybody off is DeAndre should prove the Suns wrong that I'm not a problem. that I can win a championship without you. DeAndre Ayton, he's mad calling him out, scapegoating DeAndre Ayton on the loser Phoenix Suns and not these coaches or the general manager. DeAndre Ayton should prove to the loser Phoenix Suns that I was a scapegoat and I was not a main problem. That's DeAndre Ayton I need to see. Is that I'm not the problem. I'm not the scapegoat. I won a championship without you. That's what I need to see from DeAndre Ayton. Who would love this more than anybody is Kobe. Because Kobe said he hated the Suns because they eliminated him from the playoffs multiple times. Multiple times. This was after Shaq left. So Kobe really hates the Phoenix Suns because if Ayton, a former Sun, wins a championship on the Lakers, nobody's smiling more than Kobe because he has voiced how much he hates the Phoenix Suns. This would be the ultimate get back at the loser Phoenix Suns for Anthony Davis getting injured and DeAndre Ayton wins the championship without you sorry ass motherfuckers. So I know things up here in the fan base as what is going on with DeAndre Ayton. We have to trust the ritual of DeAndre Ayton getting back at the loser Phoenix Suns and how this relates to Kobe's comments about hating the loser Phoenix Suns. Before I go, any last update on the injury report? They may not report until 30 minutes before tip-off. He's warming up, and I'm sure he's going to decide if he's ready to go or not tonight. It's just a very simple parlay. It's Cavs money line, Lakers money line, Goat Kinabon score 20. If Goat Kinabon doesn't play, then the Goat Kinabon for 20 points. That gets voided. Lakers win the game, then boom, the parlay. It's a player prop. If a player doesn't play a single second in the game, then it becomes voided. I don't think I've seen anything yet on Goat in the bond status if he isn't back playing tonight. But bigger fish to fry. Oh, we got an update. He is good to go. I can say I'm very glad that he's good to go. James was a late addition to the injury report due to left knee soreness, though he'll share his questionable tag and suit up. Mambo mentality, let's go. A fucking derby. Hell yeah. Superstar racked up a triple-double and 3 double digits. His last 4 appearances for the All-Star break, 21.8 points, 10.5 assists, 6.8 rebound, 35 points. He's still the golden king of the NBA. Anyone who says otherwise ain't been paying attention to LA Lakers. King Goat LeBron James knows how important it is to get the number 3 seed to play the Thunder in the conference semifinals to get home court. That is leadership right there. He could have easily said, I will not suit up until the Celtics. My bigger fish to fry mentality just doesn't bear with Goat LeBron James, and I'm very glad it doesn't suit well with Goat LeBron James. He wants to be out there. He loves playing basketball, and he wants to get back at the Flippers for the game in early February. So Goat LeBron James is playing tonight. Me gonna tell him a can of Flippers. Me gonna send them wherever the hell they came from. Let's go. Me don't want me good tonight. Me to beat the Celtics like Thunder. Let's go. Here we go. Looking about and look good. Legendary election. The greatest show ever in the history of the world. You ain't know nothing. Okay, but get used to this for the next few months. Get used to this. Get used to this. Get used to this. He's gonna make you fucking eat crow. That's what he's gonna do. One only. Don't kill the body. It's time to go to war and win the war and not just the battle. Let's go.